Behind me is the most enormous sluice that I've ever seen, and it's something that CW Engineering helped to service. I'm off to meet Tony Jolly from CW Engineering to find out more about their organisation.
We came along 12 years ago and we brought in the weed screen cleaners, which you can see, which we've developed over the past 12 years along with the Environment Agency, the local drainage boards, of which we also assist with the repairs and renovation of their lock gates, sluice gates, and mainly anything to do with their flood defence systems.
Great, so you've moved from the food industry to the waterways industry, which is what we love.
Yes.
So I'm hoping you can take me through in a bit more detail about the different things that you do here, perhaps starting with the locks, because that's something I do actually know about.
Right.
So can you take us through sort of what you're involved in and the process of designing them and things?
In the Anglia region, there's been a process recently of upgrading all of their locks to a standard one format, so that all the local boaters can operate the gate as one rather than having to remember something different on each one.
Yeah, so it stops all the different signs on all the different locks and things like that.
We're converting all mechanical operated, hand operated locks to electrically actuated locks. So now at the press of a button and all time sequence, all of these locks are all done automatically for the boaters.
Wow.
And all they use is a little key and done job.
Oh my gosh, you won't be getting fit through boating anymore then, will you?
This is on the guillotine gates. They still manually open the V gates, which is a little bit of pushing involved.
Okay, so you still need to use those muscles sometimes.
But we like to balance them out to make it as easy as possible for them.
Yeah, so it's standardisation and making life just a little bit easier for everyone, really.
It is, certainly, yes.
And what about the sluices and things like that? Tell us a bit more about those.
The sluice gates, over a period of time now, in this area, I suppose the sluice gates are now between 40, 50-year-old and need a little bit of renovation work. As they call them, trod wheels, which are the wheels they run up and down on, and they become worn, rusted. We do replacements on them, and we change the chains on the lifts, and also refurbish all the gearboxes and that type of thing on them. So generally give them another 20 to 30 years service life, rather than replacing the complete.
Yeah, fantastic. So it just keeps them going for the meantime. Brilliant. And now we're standing in front of these amazing contraptions, which are the weed cleaners and screeners. I know I was going to get that wrong.
Weed screen cleaners.
Screen cleaners, thank you. Can you tell us a bit about them?
Or trash rakes.
Oh, that much easier. Thanks for that.
Rakes.
Yeah, we'll do with that. Tell us a little bit more about them and what you do with those.
They've been developed to go down in front of the pumps at these pump stations. They go down a screen which is in front of the pumps, and they pick up any weed, rubbish, logs, dead animals, whatever happens to be drawn down the river.
All the lovely bits and pieces, yeah.
Keeps it clear because the pumps themselves are normally just semi-solid handling things, and nobody likes that kind of damage being done to them.
Yeah.
And it just keeps the rivers clear.
So I know these are being used abroad and you're providing them to other countries. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Well, one of the latest projects is we've just built a cleaner which is approximately 40 metres long, which is going out to Iraq, to a reservoir project out there, of which there seems to be a huge interest out there on our products, of which we feel is probably going to be a big future.
Absolutely. So it's obviously a fascinating project and a great design, so it's being used worldwide, so it makes very good sense to learn a little bit more about these. So the ad break's coming up, but join me afterwards when I'm going to find out about the process of making these weed screen cleaners.
Here we have basically the legs and beams are all made from mild steel hollow section, all locally sourced.
Brilliant.
Along with all the other bits and pieces they go with.
And I've seen a pile of something behind me here as well.
Oh,
What's
yes,
over here?
This is another part which is locally sourced, which are profiles, which are all purchased locally.
So they're all kept local as possible?
We keep everything local to within the Anglia region normally.
Great. So it's all stored out here, and then I'm guessing the magic happens inside, does it?
It goes from here inside the factory where it all happens, yes.
Are you happy for me to go and meet some of your workers and find out what goes on?
I certainly am, if
Lovely.
you wear your glasses.
I wear my sexy glasses, here we go. I've got my security jacket on. If it's not a life jacket, it's one of these. And I'm going to go inside and have a chat to people and find out what goes on. Okay, so I'm in the factory now and I've spotted someone hard at work here. I think it's Kyle, isn't it? Kyle, can you tell me what you're doing here?
Yeah, basically this is where the management process begins.
Right.
Basically the material comes out from the outside and it's just cut on this bandsaw to the specified customer's drawings.
So you're the very first section of it all?
Yeah.
And is each one different depending on what sort of where it's going and what the customer wants?
Yeah, different sizes, different like material.
So you really have to concentrate and see what the spec is this time
Yeah,
round.
yeah, definitely.
So I've spoken to Carl and I found out the very beginning of the process, and now I'm keen to find out what happens next. And Mike's very kindly agreed to chat to me. Mike, can you tell me sort of what area we're in and what happens here, please?
Basically, we take the component parts, the profile plates and the stock material that's been cut, and then these come together. They'll be marked out, tacked together, checked for accuracy, and then passed on for welding.
Are there quite a lot of parts? How do you know sort of what needs to go onto what and things like that?
The magic piece of paper from the drawing office.
Right, okay.
We've got drawings, technical drawings for everything, which gives us the dimensions, angles, and what degree of accuracy is required for things like this.
Okay. So as long as you've got that in front of you, it should all come together as
Yes.
planned. Yeah.
Yep.
And how long does this sort of section take?
Can depend. You can do a large beam, but there can be just as fewer operations in a large beam as there is a small component like this. So anything from perhaps a few minutes to a day or two.
Really, so it can be quite a long process.
Yeah,
And you
depending upon the amount of work that's in.
Okay, so I've been exploring and I found myself back inside the main factory area, and on my way in I spotted a bit of machinery that seems as if everything's come together, and luckily Tony's by it, so I'm hoping he's going to take me through what we've got here. Where do we start, Tony? What is this?
Okay then, well this is one of the main units of our weed screen cleaner, which is the Traverse unit,
Right.
which carries the grab. Once again we have a piece of fabricated equipment here, and along with all the other fabricated materials you've seen, it all goes for galvanising.
Okay, so you send it away for
so
that.
It all goes sent away for galvanising. On return, it's all cleaned, holes re-drilled, and all prepped for assembly.
Yep.
From there, all of the wheels, runners, drive system, all of these moving components are all done in the machine shop. At the rear of this, you'll see a drum unit, which
Yes.
is the actual hoist unit,
Right.
which comprises of a motorised drum, which has been machine grooved to take the cables. On the top we have the Traverse motors, which actually moves it backwards and forwards across
That's
the
cool.
beam.
Yeah.
We then have a local company who comes in and wires all this in with masses of wiring,
Yeah, rather than me with that bit, yeah.
which is all assembled into this unit here
Right.
eventually. And then it's then wired, of which you've seen on the machine, to all the flat cables which run along it. So this is the second most important part of the piece of equipment. I think the most important part is to come yet.
That's what we're going to see in a minute, which
That's
I can't
right,
wait.
yes,
But
that's
this is
good.
incredible. I mean, so many different bits have had to come together. I can't imagine the sort of planning and logistics, but I guess it's second nature to you all now, is it?
It's second nature to most of these men out here, but to me it's all changes daily with the improvements we make on
I can
it.
imagine. Now, I'm really excited. I can't wait to go and see the final product and how it all works and things. So let's go outside and have a look. So here we are outside for the bit I can't wait to see. Everything's come together and we're going to see the weed screen cleaner come together and work. I think I could probably take these off, although I've got quite used to wearing them. Now Pete's going to take me through all the controls out here and explain the hydraulics and how it all works so that we can finally finish off the whole process. Hiya Pete, thanks for meeting with us. What have we got here?
This is the heart and soul of the actual weed screen itself.
Right.
That's made in a local company just across the road, Ltd.wmv.
Okay, and what does it do?
Everything. That makes it go up, down, left, right, open, close. For the pumps, for the actual pumps on the machine, it tells you when to start, when to stop,
Okay.
how long for, and everything else.
So do you just put this on site and it's programmed to work sort of whenever, or does someone need to manually start it up each day?
No, it's everything's automatic on it.
Incredible. So once it's all put into place, that's it. It just leaves it to do its own thing.
Yes, you can also work it manually with the pendant controls.
Okay, so without this, nothing's going to move.
No.
But once it's there, it's in control of everything.
Yes.
All right. So we're going to get it going now, Pete.
Yes.
And then can you take me through the sort of hydraulics while it's working and what's going on as it moves along?
Yes, so I'll just get it started up.
Fantastic.
Auto.
I can't wait to see it actually moving, having seen it all sort of be put together along the process. It looks hideously complicated, but I'm guessing you know what you're doing.
I press A button and that's it really. It'll park up on its own.
Yeah.
And wait over the first position.
Yeah.
Because there's certain positions where you've got to stop. Once it's done that, press start. When it's in the field, you won't have to press any buttons because it already knows where it is.
Fantastic. So it's all just set up to go for it each time. And that's just moving along and grabbing when it needs to.
Yes.
And how does the sort of hydraulics and the movement work?
Well, the hydraulics, they're set on here on timers.
Right.
Because we have to, if you watch it, that'll close and that'll keep going for a little while. Because in the winter, the oil gets thicker, so it'll close slower. So you put more time on it,
Yeah.
so it'll still do it in the winter.
Fascinating. Gosh, so it's literally an all-year-round thing.
Yes, yeah.
And I guess in the winter is when it's most important with all the weed
It's
and
mainly
debris.
used in the winter, and in the summer it's not used quite so often. So we have on the programme, if it's not, it might not be used for a whole month.
Right.
So on the programme there's a bit where it's 10 o'clock every Tuesday, one run. So
Okay.
it just keeps everything running and it doesn't seize up or nothing.
And what kind of things might it pick up?
All sorts of things really. I was one in Selby in Yorkshire. That picks up sofas, settees, anything people put in the water, it will pick up.
You just can't believe people have dumped that sort of
No.
stuff. So before this machine was made, people were doing all that and taking all
Yeah,
that
they used to
debris
use
out.
a massive long rake.
Yeah.
And they used to pull it out by hand, and that's
Yeah, that's
really hard
backbreaking work. Yeah, so you've saved people time and energy with this machine.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Well, it's been well worth learning all about it. Thank you, Pete.
Okay.
I can't believe it. We've literally followed this process from the raw materials to seeing it all come together and working. It's been fascinating and well-worthy machine to be out there and be used. Now, while we're all mechanical, stick with us because coming up next, we actually watch a boat being cut in half.
At the moment, we've got a narrowboat which the customers required us to.
I can't believe I actually saw a boat being cut in half and learned about all those huge pieces of machinery at CW Engineering. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. Keep in touch with us on Facebook and Twitter and let us know your thoughts. And I hope you'll join me again for more adventures next time.